A warm greetings to my lecturer, Pano Linda, as our organizational behavior lecturer. And my name is Neo Sun Yao, and my group mate is Charvin Raj Kimutia. And both of us will be presenting about the Shell company as our selection. So we move on to the table of content, which consists of six parts of this presentation, where the first one will be what are the changes in Shell. The second one will be who involved in the changes. The third one will be why changes needs to be implemented. The fourth one will be when changes be implemented, how changes be implemented, and lastly, the organizational culture practiced in the Shell company itself. So I'll be presenting about the three first question that shows about the Shell companies, and then the another three questions will be presented by my group mate, which Arvin Raj. All right, let's move on to the first one, which is what are the changes in the Shell company. So there are four kinds of changes, which stands out from the first one is energy transition strategy. So it shifts the traditional fossil fuels to low carbon and the renewable energy sources. So it means that the Shell company takes the fossil fuels where they discovered in the sea or in the landed places, and then they change it to a transition energy which is low carbon and renewable to the energy resources where which the vehicles are using right now. And secondly, it is the net zero emission targets. So as in the progress of development, so the Shell company has committed to become the net zero emission energy business by 2050, where it is a target for their company for them to commit zero emission energy business. So they are trying to improve their technology to make out more efficient field for the users. So the third one, sorry, will be the restructuring the operations. So they will be streamlining the business units and reducing operational costs through digitalization and automation. So it means that the company are trying very hard to restructure all the operations of the business to help the company to reduce the costing, which is they will take digital statements and the automations of the machineries and all and also the data to provide them the best to calculate out the best cost for them to make out. And then the fourth one will be the brand realignment, where they're rebranding the repositioning Shell as a clean energy company rather than just an oil gas giant. So the company are trying hard to reposition the Shell company where it could comes up a market segmentation towards the customer for them to know that they are the best and the cleanest energy for the gas and giant. So we move on to who involved in the changes. So expectedly, there are five people or five department that are involved. And the first one is the executive leadership. Seconds are obviously the employees, and the third one is the investors and the shareholders, and the fourth one is the customers, and the lastly is the government and regulators. So we start off with the executive leadership where they are responsible for setting the strategy direction and overseeing the implementation. So they should have the image first before planning out what to do and what's going on to the next step for the employees or for the company to have an aim or a target to achieve. And second one will be the employees, which they are all across the departments, including the operations, engineering, the IT department, and the HR and the marketing, who must adapt to the new roles, technologies, practices. So it means that in every roles in the company, there must be have plenty of different kinds of things and departments for them to do, and they should always adapt to the latest technology or the latest process procedures to make the company become better. And the third one is the investors and the shareholders, where the company and support should be confidence are critical, especially for the strategic shift. So, as the investors and the shareholders should always support, give fully support towards the company where it will shows um, a very good confidence towards the company, and then for the employees to put on their hard work more. And the fourth one will be customers, as retailers and industrial customers as Shell's introduce new energy products and services. So as a customers, they should also get to know about it, and by giving them support with the new products and services that they will be providing. And the lastly is the government and regulators, as Shell must work closely with authorities to meet the new energy and environmental regulations. So, as expected, or it's generally stated in the law, which they have factory kinds of regulation that they would have to follow towards the environmental regulations. So they have to give up some suggestion, or they should set a limit towards what what they are giving out to the environments, and what are the pros and the cons. So if there are cons towards the environment, so they should not to say stop in absolutely, but then they have to give out a response or responsibility towards them. So this is the last slide that I will be presenting, and which is the why changes need to be implemented. As the first one will be climate change and environmental pressures, as the global urgency to combat climate change and reduce carbon emissions. So as the environmental pressure given by the governments would urge them for them to reduce the carbon emissions towards the environment, because it is causing the global warming as the as a big impact towards them. And the second is the regulatory compliance, where governments are setting stricter environmental laws and carbon targets. So, as I've explained just now, where governments are setting stricter environmental laws would give out a very big impacts towards factories that are causing out the carbon gases, would cause the global warming. And the third one is the investors expectation. So there are increased of pressure from the investors for the environmental social governments. So as the investors, they are very worried towards um, the factory process, because maybe there are some causes that would breach out the contracts or the laws towards the government. So there will be factors for them to get punishment, or they have to pay for any investment that wouldn't come to a profit. So the fourth one will be the market demands. Customers are demanding cleaner energy options. As a customer myself, we would choose to give our vehicle the best and the safest fuel for our vehicle to have, as it would give our positive, cleaner engine for them to work on. So customers may be demanding for better kinds of technology would produce out the petroleum for their vehicle. And the fifth one is the future competitive, because the global energy landscape is shifting, and Shell company must evolve to remain the competitive and sustainable. So as everyone knows, there are plenty kinds of petroleum companies, for example, Petron, Petronas, or BHP Petrol, they will be stay competitive towards each other for them to have a global energy landscape where it is shifting and improving, and then they must have their changes towards them. And then the last but not least, the reputation and the brands. So as a public perceptions and the stakeholders trust are the key for the Shell's company for long-term success. So without the public perceptions and the stakeholders giving out their commitments and their confidence towards the company wouldn't stay for a long term and to have success towards it. And by having their confidence, they should come out with new and more technology which could give confidence towards the stakeholders and the public for them to have an good or positive image towards their company.
Next, I'm going to present about when change will be implemented in the Shell. Shell's transformation to a sustainable energy company is divided into three key timelines. First one is short term, which happen for 1 to 2 years. They are focused on cost cutting measurable, where the Shell will on reducing operational expenses to increase financial flexibility. This can involve streamlining business process, cutting redundant expenditures, and optimize supply chain. Next, workforce restructuring. This is like to adopt the changing energy landscape. Shell will plan to restructure its workforce. This may include layoff in traditional oil and gas sector. Next is initially investment in renewable and electrical mobility. Shell will begin laying the groundwork by investing in renewable energy projects such as wind and solar farms. This will also expand into electrical vehicle market, for example, by building electrical vehicle that charging infrastructure. Next is second one is the medium term, which happen for 3 to 5 years. They are majorly shift to low carbon energy production. Shell will progressively shift its core business from oil and gas to low carbon energy sources. Transition major assets and new project toward sustainability. Next, scaling up hydrogen, biofuel, wind and solar energy. It will like investment made in the short term will be scaled significantly. Hydrogen production plant, biofuel facilities, and renewable energy project like offshore wind farms and solar parks will be expanded to commercial level. The last one, which is the third one, is the long term, which is up to 2050 years. Like first one is like achieving net zero emission. Like shells aim to reach a state where the amount of the greenhouse gases emitted is balanced by the amount removed by the atmosphere. This will be involve major operational changes, carbon capture technology, and offsetting mechanism, and fully integrate renewable energy portfolio, which is by the 2050. Shell will be envisioned by being a leader in global energy transition with a diversities portfolio including solars, wind, hydrogen, bioenergy, and possible other emerging green technologies. Next is how changes will be implemented by the Shell. To ensure the success of this transformation, Shell will be rely on six major strategy, which is the first one is strategic roadmap, where the Shell will set clear, measurable sustainability and business goal, including emission reduction targets, renewable energy output goals, and specific timeline for achieving each milestone. This roadmap provides direction and a structure timeline for the company evolution. Second one is the digital transformation, where the Shell plan to use artificial intelligence, which is AI, and data analytics, and machine learning, and automation. It's two main reason to optimize the operations, predict equipment failure like prevention of maintenance, reduce energy waste, and enhance customer service. And the third one is training and development. As the energy industry evolves, Shell will be invest on reskilling and upskilling on its employee. Workers in traditional oil and gas operation will be trained for a job in renewable. New digital skill will be taught, preparing employees for AI-driven workplace and energy tech solution. The fourth one is collaboration, where the shell understand that it cannot transition alone. It will be partnered with the clear tech company to innovate faster. And then also they will work closely with the government to align policy and collaborating with the university and research institution to drive innovation in energy technology. The fifth one is investment, where the shell will be commit sustainable capital towards renewable energy project, infrastructure for electrical mobilities, hydrogen production facilities, and carbon capture and store solutions. Significantly, investment will also ensure that Shell remain competitive in the emerging low carbon economy. The last one is stakeholder engagement. Shell will be maintain transparent communication with employee, investor, communities, regulatory, and stakeholder will be engaged in the key decision process, building trust and ensuring that the Shell's transition align with the societal expectations. The last one is organizational culture at the Shell. Shell's organizational culture provides the foundation for all these changes. It is built around these key values, which have six. The first one is safety first. Safety is the company's top priorities, no matter the operation or the location. Shell maintains strict health, safety, and environmental standards to protect workers, community, and environment. Second is respect and inclusion. Shell foster a culture where diversity is respected and everyone is given equal opportunity. Equity, diversity, and inclusion initiative ensure that the workforce reflect the global communities shall serve. Third one is performance oriented. Employees are encouraged to set higher goals, take ownership of result, and continuous improvement performance. Accountability is the highly valued in this. The fourth one is collaboration and teamwork. Shall promote a collaborative environment where employees are different religion, function, and expertise work together. Cross-functional teamwork is necessary for innovation and project succeed. The fifth one is innovation and adaptability. The company embrace changes and encourage employees to think creatively. Continuous improvement like experimentation and agility are emphasized, helping shall stay ahead in a rapidly evolving industry. The last one is sustainability focus. The culture is evolving to make sustainability a center principle. Employees are encouraged to make decisions that not only benefit the shell financially but also positively impact society and the environment. That's all from us. Thank you for your attention.